Hello friends, welcome to our channel The Leaks. You all must have heard about kingpins like Pablo Escobar and Osama, but you may not know about this criminal who kidnapped a billionaire in 1983. If you are fond of beer, then you must have heard about the Heineken company, or at least come across its name at some point. Now let me tell you that the owner of this company was Freddy Heineken, whose net worth at the time was $9.8 billion. Now just imagine such an important person is kidnapped and kept imprisoned in a closed room for 2 weeks. Billionaires are usually untouchable, so kidnapping one is a huge deal. Now the question arises, why did these criminals kidnap Freddy Heineken? Were they caught in the end, or did they escape with the money? Not only that, but there were also some criminals involved in their plan to take the money, and if you hear about it, you will be shocked. To know the whole story, keep watching this video till the end. So, hello guys, I am Parry, and let's start another new video. It was a cold evening in November 1983. Freddy Heineken had just left his office building and was walking towards his car. Those who knew Freddy knew that he never kept bodyguards for his protection, but this habit of his became his biggest regret. Suddenly, some men wearing masks appeared and grabbed Freddy. Along with Freddy, they also caught his driver, and before anyone could see anything, both of them were thrown into a van. Within a short time, Freddy and his driver were taken to a deserted warehouse where they were locked in a soundproof room. What happened next was nothing short of a movie story. But before we get into that, let's meet the mastermind behind this kidnapping, William Frederick Holliday. William was born on May 29th, 1958 in Amsterdam and lived in a place called Jordan, which was a working class area. Life was very tough for working class people at that time. There were 6 members in William's family: his parents, his brother, and 2 sisters. The company where William's father worked had recently been bought by Heineken. By 1980, Heineken had become a very famous beer company. At the age of 15, William's parents sent him to study in a technical school, but he was not one of the students who liked to study. He often got into trouble for various reasons. Eventually, due to his rebellious nature, he was expelled from school and started living a life of crime. Around this time, he met a man named Cor van Hout, who became his best friend and partner in crime. Together, they became an inseparable team, and while still in school, they started their own business. William was the main enforcer, and Hout acted as a mediator. Their business involved extorting money from their classmates through threats. William would intimidate them, and Hout would collect the money, pretending to offer protection from William himself. Over time, William's aggressive nature only grew, turning him into a full-fledged criminal. Their reputation spread, and they started mingling with other well-known criminals in Amsterdam. In fact, it is said that they were involved in multiple thefts, but they never faced serious legal consequences. William often visited the Heineken factory where his father worked. The factory's director, Freddy Heineken, always wore a green suit. William's downfall was linked to Heineken, and his entire family suffered as a result. Perhaps this resentment led William to orchestrate one of the most daring kidnappings of the century. But Freddy Heineken wasn't their only target. In 1983, William, Hout, and their 3 friends, Franz, Jan, and Martin, devised a daring plan. They wanted to become extremely rich, not just temporarily, but for life. To achieve this, they planned to kidnap the richest man in the Netherlands. First, they studied financial magazines and shortlisted 3 names: Albert Heijn, the founder of a supermarket chain; Weiss Decker, the president of Philips; and Freddy Heineken, the Heineken brewery director. Eventually, they settled on Freddy Heineken. They were not amateurs. First, they followed Freddy for a few weeks and observed his daily routine. They also acquired a van and an empty warehouse where they built a soundproof room. Finally, their meticulous planning paid off when they successfully kidnapped one of Europe's wealthiest men. After locking Freddy in the room, the 5 criminals returned to their regular lives as if nothing had happened. They had carefully planned every step, staying 1 step ahead of the police. To prove their seriousness, they sent an envelope to Freddy's house containing a ransom letter and his watch as proof that they had him. In the letter, they demanded $580 million and instructed the police to print a secret message in the newspaper once the money was ready. The coded message was, "The meadow is green for the hare," signaling the kidnappers to contact the police directly. The kidnappers recorded Freddy's voice on a tape recorder to assure the police he was alive. They then used payphones to play the recordings and issue instructions. Their plan was flawless, but an unexpected problem arose. When the time came to collect the ransom, too many news reporters gathered outside Freddy's house, preventing the money van from leaving. As a result, the kidnapping, originally planned for 48 hours, stretched further. For days, there was silence between the kidnappers and the police. Fearing that Freddy and his driver had been killed, the police received proof of life in the form of photos showing Freddy and his driver holding a newspaper from that day. Once again, the kidnappers demanded money using coded advertisements in the newspaper. Police complied, following every instruction. The kidnappers directed a police officer to drop 5 bags of money from a highway overpass, where a pickup truck collected them and quickly drove away. The police were completely outmaneuvered. After taking the money, William and his group buried it in barrels in a forest. Their crime seemed perfect. No one had seen their faces or heard their voices, and the police had no idea how many people were involved. But then, the police received an anonymous tip revealing the location of Freddy Heineken's warehouse. However, instead of raiding immediately, the police surveilled the area, gathering information on the kidnappers. Realizing they were being watched, William and Hout planned to flee to Paris while the rest of the gang went underground. But the police lost patience and stormed the warehouse, discovering a hidden wall. Upon breaking it down, they found Freddy and his driver. Freddy's first words after 2 weeks in captivity were, "Couldn't you hurry up a little more?" Amsterdam government authorities initiated extensive surveillance operations to locate and apprehend the perpetrators. Despite these efforts, key figures William Holleleder and Cor van Hout managed to elude capture and fled to Paris. Their escape was facilitated by meticulous planning and the use of false identities, allowing them to cross international borders undetected. Meanwhile, other members of the kidnapping group sought refuge in various locations. Franz Meyer, for instance, evaded arrest by fleeing to Paraguay, where he lived under an alias for several years. And Boyelaard and Martin Erkamps attempted to remain hidden within the Netherlands, but were eventually apprehended by police due to ongoing investigations and tips from informants. The capture of Holleder and Van Hout occurred on February 1984 when French authorities detained them in France. Their arrest was the result of collaborative efforts between Amsterdam and France government agencies, which had been exchanging intelligence on the fugitives' whereabouts. Following their arrest, both men contested extradition to the Netherlands, leading to a protracted legal battle. During this period, they were held under house arrest and in various detention facilities across France. After more than 3 years, they were extradited to the Netherlands on October 1986. The subsequent court proceedings in the Netherlands were highly publicized given the prominence of the victim and the audacity of the crime. The courtroom was secure with heightened measures to prevent any disruptions or escape attempt. During the trial, the defendants displayed defiance, often challenging the prosecution's narrative. Despite their attempts to downplay their involvement, the overwhelming evidence led to their conviction. Holleder and Van Hout received 11-year prison sentences, while their accomplices, Boelaard and Erkamps, were sentenced to 12 and 9 years respectively. Freddy Heine recovered from the ordeal and continued leading the Heine Company to success. But what happened to the ransom money? In December 1983, a woman walking her dog discovered one of the buried barrels of cash and alerted the police. They recovered a portion of the ransom, but millions remained missing. When questioned, Franz claimed he had burned his share of the money, but do you think he really destroyed it, or did he secretly keep it for himself after getting out of jail? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please like and share it with your friends. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video. Until then, take care